who are listening to me, kindly confirm the audio and the video. Okay, so we were talking about geopolitics. We also looked at the contemporary issues. Today also we'll continue on that. Any doubts, any questions? People who have come in new, this is the Telegram group. You can join that. Any doubts, any questions? Quickly. Good afternoon to all. Good afternoon. So generally waiting for your doubts, if any. So if no doubts, I waited for 3 minutes. Let's come to the question. So let me give you a question. So yesterday I said we have done something on geopolitics. Let us try and write a question on geopolitics. Is everyone okay with this? So the question is, please write the question, everyone. First of all, this question is a 10 marker. This question is to be written in 150 words. If you can't count the number of words, 2 pages. Okay, that? The question should have, you should write the question, you should write the answer. In answer, try and bring me the context of the question, try and bring the content of the question, try and bring illustrations, and try and conclude. Is everyone okay? So 4 aspects I will be looking forward to seeing in your answer. Is everyone with me on this? 4 aspects are what I am looking into this answer. How much time will you get? Well, you should get 8 minutes for this. I will be giving you 10 minutes. Is everyone okay? So please take a fresh sheet and write a question on that. Examine the geopolitical significance. Examine the geopolitical significance. We can say of Indian Ocean region. At times we have got such questions. Examine the geopolitical significance of Indian Ocean region. We can write that also. So I'm saying examine the geopolitical significance of India adopting a proactive approach. Not to wait, but India is adopting something. India adopting a proactive approach in affairs related to Indian oceans. In affairs related to Indian Ocean. This is another way of just saying, what is the significance of Indian Ocean. That's one thing. But India, whatever it is doing, so this is also inviting you about something about India adopting a proactive approach. A hint of that should also come in this. So I'm expecting an answer. It is 15:09 to 15:19. You may start. Good afternoon, all students who've joined in. I think I've waited for you. It's been 6 minutes since the class started. So your doubts have been taken. If there were no doubts, then I have given my question. Please start, everyone. Please start. I'm keeping in. Actually, good. So we are going as per our schedule. We are also looking at what kind of questions are asked. We are also understanding, and this has got a lot of scope of what India is doing. So examine the geopolitical significance of India adopting a proactive approach in affairs related to Indian Ocean. So first of all, if I am to look at the context, everyone, what is the context? Introduction, the context. So Indian Ocean region, Indian Ocean when we are talking about, so can I say India is a part of the rimland, and as Professor Spickman said, that this is the belt where power centers will compete. True or not? Indian Ocean region is that battleground. Yes. So everyone, can I say being a part of the rimland, being a part of the rimland, रत्नम आपको लगता है जियोपॉलिटिकल सिग्निफिकेंस में आपका कॉन्टेक्स्ट कनेक्टिविटी रहेगा? इंडिया जो प्रोएक्टिव अप्रोच अपना रहा है वो जियोपॉलिटिक्स में क्या कनेक्टिविटी के लिए कर रहा है? हम रास्ता बनाने के लिए कर रहे हैं, ठीक है? अब मैं इससे डिस्ट्रैक्ट नहीं होऊंगा. आई एम गिविंग यू समथिंग, प्लीज कीप दैट इन माइंड. So when we are talking about geopolitical significance, so I'm talking about why India is interested in this. What is important? This is called context. Context is the BAP of all points. It is not point. Context is the bigger picture. So that's what we are talking about. So the big idea is this. So India and Indian Ocean region is that area where the global power politics will play, and that was called Rimland. And Indian Ocean region is that fight for geostrategic significance. Do we get that? So this is somewhere I would want to bring. And as a result, India has decided to play what? A proactive role, being at the head of Indian Ocean. Is everyone okay? Now comes what is the geopolitical significance and how are we talking about this affairs. So in this I would say that the geopolitical significance and the role that India shows is one is on the geostrategic. Can I say that? So this is one counter what? Counter the expansionary policies of China. Yes, geostrategic, the pearl of strings. Pearl of strings. So we will talk about how India is helping Maldives, how India is helping Sri Lanka, how India is sending or doing its naval exercises, joint naval exercises in these areas. Okay, geostrategic, geo-economic. How India has been looking at this geo-economic. So one is we have been looking at it in terms of resources. Second, in terms of trade. Third, in terms of economic alliances that we are talking about. Yes, and not only Indian Ocean plus Pacific Ocean. So have you heard of IPEF, Indo-Pacific Economic Framework? IPEF, Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. India is also looking at Focus Africa through this. Yes or no? India has also looked at through various, say for example, Myanmar के साथ जो हम कालादान से हुए. So that's geo-economic. That's that. Yes, we have BIMSTEC also coming in here. Is everyone okay? Sagarmala project, sir, can we add? Sagarmala project is not particularly talking about, that we are looking at in terms of geopolitical. That is more about the regional development. But yes, you can say Sagar, which I talked about in the last class. You can take that also. Sagarmala ki jagah, port-led or port modernization, because Sagarmala is port-led development for India also and outside also. Do we get the geostrategic, geo-economic? I am also looking at geo in this socio-cultural. We are connecting our ties with Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia, our ties with Sri Lanka, the cultural ties which we are talking about, that's also we must be looking at. In this geostrategic, I would also want to put in anti-piracy, and control of what militancy, drug trafficking, etc. Securing trade routes वो एंटी पायरेसी में आ जाएगा, so trade routes उधर भी आ जाएगा. तो geo-economic, geostrategic, and geo-socio-cultural, that's what we are talking about. And I also believe the fourth one is IMD वाला जो यश बोल रहे हैं, ecological. We are being proactive about it. IMD as a leader, we are looking for collaborations in R&D, prediction methods, and even disaster management. Do we get that? So we are in this thing. Peacekeeping, well, peacekeeping is not particularly for Indian Ocean. Yes or no? बार बार रत्नम को ब्लू इकोनॉमी रटा हुआ, ब्लू इकोनॉमी, जब ब्लू इकोनॉमी कर दिया तो ब्लू इकोनॉमी क्या है? व्हाट इज ब्लू इकोनॉमी? व्हाट इज ब्लू इकोनॉमी? ये बताइए रत्नम, व्हाट इज ब्लू इकोनॉमी? मुझे बताइए, ब्लू इकोनॉमी में डज इट हैव एनी अदर पॉइंट अदर देन रिसोर्सेज, ट्रेड, इकोनॉमिक अलायंसेस, और कुछ है ब्लू इकोनॉमी? इज देयर समथिंग एल्स? बट उसे ब्लू इकोनॉमी लिखना है, ब्लू इकोनॉमी लिखना है, लिखो. Now comes, how would you write this? How would you write this? So these are the points that we are talking about. Do we have context? Do we have content? What illustrations are we going to put? Well, illustrations would be the map. So we should be quickly, like in the examination, we should be quickly able to draw the map of Indian Ocean region and talk about, what are the issues that we're talking about. Collaboration, say for example, securing trade routes. So trade routes, can I say these are the choke points? Can I call them these cross as the choke points? Can I talk about that? Can I also say that these are the areas where piracy is there? Here, what do we have? PMN, polymetallic nodules, when we are talking about resources. Yes or no? Sri Lanka, Maldives, Seychelles, we are talking about. Yes. Here we are looking at Africa. Say, for example, what do we have here? Mozambique. Mozambique may we have gone for contract farming of pulses with the Mozambique government. That's what we have gone for. So we are looking at that also. Here we are looking at securing this also. What strait is this? Hormuz Strait. Energy security. Energy security. India has done two things over here. One is those types with West Asia and Africa. West Asia and Africa, we have diversified our energy belt also, so that also would be coming. तो उसके अलावा जो हमारा यहाँ पर BIMSTEC है, BIMSTEC will be there. Apart from that, as I said, Indo-Pacific Economic Cooperation, so that can also be there. So we can link this IOR with POR, Pacific Ocean region, and say Indo-Pacific Economic Cooperation. So something we will have to illustrate. So do we have an illustration also, everyone? Do we have illustration? What is conclusion? What is conclusion? What is the conclusion? So if India is looking for a sustained, peaceful growth, then IOR and its geopolitics need to be the focus of Indian policy. We can talk about that. So ये points there, this is how the answer should have gone. And if you are looking for some answer in this, let us look at a sample answer also. So 10 minutes question writing, 10 minutes discussion on that. I hope that helps us. Okay, let's look at a sample answer also. The Indian Ocean region is part of the rimland politics, Nikolai Spickman, and thus the rationale for India's proactiveness. So I would not be very happy with this, like half-baked sentence. अच्छे से लिखो यार, write it properly. Geoeconomics, India region of resource-rich sea lanes of communication, counter China's debt trap diplomacy. And you would see that I have not gone into debt trap diplomacy and all those things. Those are very GS type language. Whatever points I was talking about, did you see it was more on the geographical side? Now, people preparing for UPSC mains, generally they have this overdose of GS, so we should be going down on that. So I would say the spatial interaction that is there in geoeconomic, I have brought in many parts to you. Geostrategic, it is India's backyard where India exerts influence. Now, this sentence doesn't carry any power. Idea is good, but doesn't carry any power. So that's a problem that we are looking at. But the point is there. Can you see the second page also? The person has chosen to draw the map. So Gwadar, Port, Hamban, Tota, Trinco, Mali, string of pearls. So that should be there. You should be looking at multiple illustrations. Wolf warrior diplomacy of China. So everything. Can you see this answer is going more towards GS? Multiple piracy issues in the West. So not all answers are also there. China's expansionism in the region influence Laos, Cambodia. The need of the deal in pairs with the small nation. Need of IOR, zone of peace, Gale peace dialogue. So whatever this person knew about GS, उसने सब लिख दिया. Way forward, is external balancing between Quad, IPF, and non-reciprocity Gujarat doctrine with respect to smaller nations, soft power, installation of Mosam. This is what we call is a GS-like answer, where you forget that this is more about geopolitics. So conclusion also has to go in the same direction as we had started. Is everyone okay? If you ask me how much will I give this person, maybe 47, 48%, because this is an overdose of GS. Do we get that? So how can we avoid this? We are having proper things. We are looking at anti-piracy, militancy, and all those issues, and we are bringing in this ecological aspect. And I say ecological aspect, sustained peaceful growth of IOR. We are bringing in geo-socio-cultural aspect also. We are bringing in something of that sort should be brought in over here. And there is a tendency, as I said, there will be a lot of content, and you will have a lot of strong desire to bring in the GS part. So that should be a little resistant. Is everyone with me on this? So 10 minutes of writing and 10 minutes of discussion. If you are okay with this, then I would like to continue such sessions, more such answer writing, so that by the time your course ends, you not only have the understanding of the subject, you also have some answer writing practice, also some good samples for you. And if you choose to somewhere revise your course, you can use those first few minutes to even test what you are doing. Though, as I said, it requires exhaustive testing, and that testing generally I do it through my masterstroke programs. Those masterstroke programs were generally available for all, but right now I have restricted entry to those programs, because I generally don't want non-serious people to enter those programs. They unnecessarily take a lot of energy, and change also doesn't come easily. Nikhil says that I keep writing in sentences and not in points, thus losing on time. Need to learn and write concisely. Everyone, when I give you samples, so these samples are not you. You don't write like this. Should you write like this? Well, that's also not the intention. Can I say these are choices for you? Do you get that? I hope you will not blindly copy them. Don't blindly copy their ideas. And do I do a critical review of everything with you? That what is good? I think the visibility is good, the illustration is good, the use of context, idea, content is fine. Content is fine. But I would want, there should be, like demand from the examiner. Demand from examiner. What do you want to demand from the examiner? You want to demand more from the examiner. So your content has been not optimally used. So content hai, but wo miss hota hai. Yes, sir, I also used to write all in sentences, but not good to know. No, it is not about what and how much you are putting them all. So it is, you have to manage the time also. And can you see smart use of illustrations? Even today, like I've seen students, coming with geography optional and having done it with various other coaching institutes. Sir, is map making important? Sir, pura jagah hoti hai kya? Do we have place? Sir, will I be able to draw it? Very difficult, And when they look at these masterstroke copies, suddenly they realize that, yeah, this is possible. True. So that's what we are talking about. So you have that advantage, make use of it. Okay, let's get to the topic of the day. So every day, again, as I said, some people might feel that this is a waste of time. So वो लोग आकर अपना forward करके देख लें. Some people will join the class at this time. Not a good idea, but then that's okay. सब कोई IAS बनने के लिए थोड़ी ना आता है. कुछ तो सिर्फ क्लास के लिए भी आते हैं. Sir, I wrote, but my language or words are not fine and influencing. So work careers, but now I'm trying to write under broader headings and then try to put points under them. Okay, good, Neeraj. Answers are written in headings only. Can you see this person also has written in headings? And what is this person doing? He's putting some points. Get it? Now everyone. Anvesha is saying, sir, how to improve language? Perfect. Everyone, your handwriting, does it resemble anyone that you know? The handwriting which you have, does it resemble anyone that you know? No. Look for it. Look at your handwriting of your mother, your father, or your sibling. Definitely you would have picked up something from them. Guarantee they don't. There is a guarantee. We borrow. Friend views, absolutely okay. We borrow a lot of things. So in your school, you were told cursive writing. SACHINAROR. Yes, sir. Did we do this or not? I also learned this. Later on, I realized that this is too much of discipline. Then I went for this. True. I changed it. I changed it not because somebody told me. I liked this writing more, so I observed it. Get that? I've seen many people when they write black and white, they write like this, black and white. ऐसे लिखते हैं. Many people do that. Black and white. I also used to write it, but one day I observed someone writing this. I liked it, and I also replaced it, and now I do it like this. Ratnam is saying, sir, I'm happy that you are able to read what I write. A teacher can read anything. But then the fact is not about handwriting. This talk is not about handwriting. I hope you don't get me wrong on this. What I'm trying to say here is something else. We learn by observations. Not everything is original by us. There's a lot that we have copied. Is everyone with me on this? True? Yes. When I show you these sample answers, you are observing them automatically, absent-mindedly, something will be copied. You will copy the style. You will copy the structure. That will be a part of it. What is needed? What is needed? Repeated observations. Yes or no? What is fashion? So you see the film star, the hero, or the person you like, वो एक तरह के कपड़े पहनता है, आप भी वैसे करते हो. Your hairstyle looks like that, does or not? You start wearing the watch like that, or the collar of the shirt would be like that, or you would tuck in your shirt only half of it, the way you fold your jeans, everything. Yes or no? Repeated observation, do we do that or not? And I also want to tell you, absent-mindedly, the way you speak, the way you react, you are copying that also from your environment, particularly your family. That is why it is always said that the parents should not behave in certain wrong ways in front of the children, because children borrow that. They would not do it consciously, but it will happen. Is everyone okay? Now I want to tell you, 80% of non-English speakers are trying to master vocabulary and grammar to learn English. There's a whole industry, English teaching industry, which is doing that. And I want to tell you, 20% of non-English speakers are learning it by observation. This is a faster method. Fast and sure shot. This is a slow, often failure-bound method. You get courses, English speaking course, Rapidex English speaking course. There are many people who mugged up vocabulary. They have mugged up, grammar also. Okay, their subject aega, their verb aega, their object will come, and all those things. They're doing all those things. Get that? When it comes to the language, nothing happens. Nothing happens. They feel frustrated also. Spoken to एक चीज है. Spoken comes first. Then when it comes to written, इधर तो सारे ही, whatever you have, थोड़ा बहुत जो semblance of इज्जत है वो भी खत्म हो जाती है. True or not? Have you also been a part of that? Have you also tried it or not? Or have people around you tried it or not? And especially if you are from the EAG belt, can I call it the EAG belt now? These courses are running, and despite all those things, they haven't worked, or the way it should work, they haven't happened. So as a result, what happens is you have to choose a medium for this examination, and you come to the conclusion that Hindi medium se to hoga nahi, that I'm not able to do it in Hindi medium. Why? Because a lot of content and books are written in English. The newspapers are also, like when we are looking at Hindu newspaper, at times, they do not carry those analytical items. So you are forced to look into those English newspapers. But deep inside, you have this fear: oh, my English is weak because my vocabulary is weak, because my grammar is weak. सबको यही समझ में आ रहा है. True or not? And now you want to improve that. You send me messages also. You keep on sending me messages. Sir, how can I work on this thing? Sir, you read my answer and with my language you give up. What am I giving up? I'm saying everyone will give up. So बीच में हो जाएगा. Get that? Everyone tell me. Showing you good answers, does it help or not? Something bothering my eyes today. Yeah. Showing you good answers, does it help, or are you just saying it out of formality? Is it formality? No, sir, it does. Seriously. Structuring, and we get so many ideas. Yes, no, it really helps. I first tell you what should be written, I teach you, then you write, and then we look at, some answers also. And not the best, whatever their flaws, they are really helping. So why are they helping you? Why are these answers helping you? Because you take a lot of ideas from them. True? Now, if I say write an answer, will you be able to write exactly like this? No. Should you write exactly like this? No. Is this the only or the best answer? No. Then still I'm showing you. Why? Because I want you to observe certain things. And irrespective of whether your geography is good or not, irrespective of whether your English is good or not, I can guarantee you, if you continue doing this exercise with me for 60 sessions, 60, अगर मैंने एक साथ आपके साथ 60 sessions कर दिए on answer writing, irrespective of whether your geography or English is good or not, your answer will always look good. आपको answer writing तो आ जाएगा. Do you agree or not? And we also know that there are many students who know a lot of geography and English, they can't write good answers. In fact, no teacher is actually working on these 60 things. 60 में तो यार magic हो जाएगा. 45 is called habit building time. 45 days is habit building time, and 60th day is like top 10. So बहुत सारे बच्चों के साथ ये नहीं किया जा सकता. This can be done only with a small group of students. So that's what I do now in my master strokes. In this unit, I face problem that is writing GS-like answer, which makes very basic. Okay, whatever unit अपने ऐसे कह रहे हो अभी is saying in this unit I faced, as if you have written any other answer, any other unit. I haven't seen your answer. You might feel that you write great answers, so that's okay. I don't think so that you were here in the course throughout. You've just come joined us in between. Maybe you've done your coaching also. So ऐसा मैं ले नहीं रहा हूँ. This answer में मेरे GS like होते हैं. आपने कौन सा कोई और आंसर लिखा? I'm not talking about the serious issues which are there. I'm not just talking about people who have come here who thought who have given mains and mugged up the coachings and answer is GS like. ऐसे ही बनेगा भैया. Reproduce करेंगे तो यही होगा. So now I am saying that people who are listening to me, if you want to work on your language, already MMP 2023 students are working on this. जब आप newspaper पढ़ते हो, if you come across phrases and sentences which say more by writing less, which are real good samples, can you make them your own? Make them your own. Make them. So how do I make them my own? अरे वो phrase आपके पास पड़ा है. See, this is a good diagram or not? Yes, इसको 2-3 बार देखा, practice किया हो जाएगा. This becomes yours. The good thing about this phrase and sentences, let me tell you, its vocabulary is already good. Its grammar is also correct. So you don't have to bother about it. Do we get this? Say for example, this student, if we are looking at this student, is already a selected student. So he says Indian Ocean region is resource rich. That's it. Geoeconomic. Sea lanes of communication. Counter China debt. Everyone tell me 1, 2, and 3. Are these sentences? Or are these phrases? These are phrases. These are not sentences. Phrases से क्या कर रहा है? Ideas को आगे ले जा रहा है. He's taking ideas. He's given 3 points in that. Why am I saying that he's writing GS like? Because he doesn't put any analysis in this. So he has to put analysis also. That's my feedback to him when I check him. Then I give him this feedback. There are many students who mugged up coaching वाला वो यही कहेगा आकर कि सर मेरा ना GS जैसा हो जाता है. My answer looks like GS because you mugged up from the coaching institute. And I to refuse to check any of these people's paper. Get that? आप ये करते रहेंगे. You are not the first one. The same coaching you go, they all will be writing the same thing. Like in NCERT, I found this. It developed. It is not degeneralized. It is endangered. I don't know what you have written, Sneha. But I'm just saying, this person. Did you notice the blueprint of writing less? Write in phrases. Get that? Write in phrases. And can you borrow those phrases? Yes or no? I have this Hindu newspaper with me. Okay. Let me look at this. It says regarding the attack against Salman Rushdie, we don't consider anyone deserving reproach. थोड़ा सा कठिन English है. Mr. Modi said, elaborating how India's mindset should be completely decolonized. I like this. Mindset should be decolonized. अभी मोदी जी ने भाषण दिया ना. India's mindset should be decolonized. Is it right English? Yes. Is the phrase also okay? Can you use it somewhere? Is this normally your language? Is this normally your language? No, it is not. Would you want to borrow it? That's what I'm saying. You can very well borrow it. If you are doing it from the newspaper, you're preparing it for GS. अगर यही चीज आप खुल्लर से कर लीजिए, if you do it from खुल्लर or दीक्षित, what will you borrow? Geographical language. So this will take a lot of time. I am challenging you. There are 2 ways of dealing with it. One is go and collect the vocabulary first. आप जाइए geography की vocabulary, grammar इकट्ठा कर लीजिए and observe कर लीजिए. This is always faster and sure shot. That's my guarantee. Get it? Which one comes easy to us? ये जो class के notes होते हैं ना, dictation. Then we go and we write and then we get a feedback. Answer is GS like. अरे, I did whatever was possible. Answer is GS like. Because what are you doing? Just vocabulary and grammar. Here what you have done, you observe the book. Can we slow down with Fuller? Fuller के साथ कुछ phrases उठा सकते हैं? उठा लीजिए, make them your own. Who's stopping you? Now, let me tell you the difference between people who are selected and people who keep on attempting. 0.1% people in this class who are listening to me, they are going to act on what I said. 99.9% will take no action. In fact, some will say, ये फालतू का फंडा है, मैं तो अपने हिसाब से करूँगा. इधर आके, I know every day who's coming. Now, many a time told you many people come only for this. मेरा आंसर चेक करेगा, जो मर्जी कर लो. You can choose. And I've seen, the huge difference happening in these 0.1% people. इनके आंसर्स आप देखेंगे सब बदल जाते हैं. So आज के हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर में I think सेंटर में कुछ आया है. Some data is also there. Useful. You can. Sir, but how many? How many? The question is how many. So how much do I do every day? ये तो बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा sir. How will I manage? First of all, these phrases which I told you. Yes, sir? Did I tell you the phrases or the sentences? You will not pick them up randomly. They should be the best of best. What is this? Don't belittle freedom fighters. Don't belittle freedom fighters. Don't belittle freedom fighters. Or don't disrespect freedom fighters. Everyone. Do you need Hindu newspaper to tell you to write this sentence? This तो is your language, no? This is your language. Don't pick this up. Do you understand? जो आता है ऐसा नहीं कि बिल्कुल वो खत्म हो जाए. True or not? अभी इधर लिखा है termites have surfaced on the very frame of yet to be inaugurated exhibition of Father of Nation. So गांधी जी का कोई आश्रम है, गांधी भवन इन कोलकाता, वहां पे टर्माइट है. Termites have come. तो वो सब थोड़ी करने को कह रहा हूँ. What am I saying? Any piece of phrase or sentence that is best of best which you want to keep daily, दो करना बस. Is everyone okay? Two is possible. You are writing for 2024. I am promising you, आपकी language तब तक बदल जाएगी. ठीक है? Two करेंगे. I'm just inviting you to do two phrases and sentences where from newspaper or whatever GS book, 2 from GS and 2 from geography. करेंगे? Geography में क्या होगा? खुल्लर से लीजिए. If you have Hussain, you can take Majid Hussain. Perspective का NCERT भी अच्छा है. NCERT Human Geography booklet, no? That's very good. You can take that also. And if you have thought का RD Dikshit, you can take that. अभी टाइम नहीं है तो do whatever areas I am dealing with. Whatever areas I am dealing with, please do that only. Is everyone okay? कर सकते हैं 2. What will you do with them? You will make a notebook. What will you call this notebook? Language development book. Has anyone ever made such a book? आपने बनाई कभी? You haven't developed it. That's okay. जिस पे काम नहीं किया, something which we have not worked on, it did not. But should we have a language development book? Will it help if somebody is going to compete in wrestling in Olympics? उसको बोलूं क्या language development book? No, I'm not telling them. You want to clear this examination and your language will be required. So can we have that language development book? Yeah, that. So date डाला और date के साथ sentence डाला. कितना होना चाहिए? 4. Suppose on that day you got only 3. Any problem? No problem. 3 भी चलेगा. Yeah, that. Idea is nothing more than 4. But there is a rule. What is the rule? What is the rule for this? You don't write it till you memorize. Do you get that? Otherwise, it will not show in your language. I'm sorry. You will have a collection of this thing. And everyone, what did I give you? क्या दिया था मैंने? What was it? India's mindset should be completely decolonized. Mindset should be decolonized. Everyone, certain warnings. Am I looking for a quotable quote books? Am I looking for a quotable quote quotations? No. Am I looking for something with high literature that you become a writer? No. Only subject related, current affairs related or geography related, nothing else. Do not give me a spiritual discourse. Atma Paramatma nahi karna hai. Do we get that? No, nothing of that sort. Only of that. Whatever newspaper you're reading, usse ek nikalna. First memorize it. Now tell me, everyone, how many times have you observed in your school and college days, you had memorized some poem or some statement. When you were talking to others, you felt like saying that paragraph to them. True or not? Yes. Many people ask me, sir, in the language book, in the language development book, I have written those things after memorizing. When will I use them? Does anyone have an answer? When will you use them? These phrases and sentences, when will you use them? So that's where I want you to be reminded of this. Mansi is saying where it is needed. Mansi, how would you know whether it is needed or not? That is what people who have experienced this are writing. Sir, it will come automatically. You don't use these phrases and sentences ever. These phrases and sentences use you. Immediately you feel, oh my God, introduction ye jana chahiye. This sentence should go in that. Yes, sir? UPSC ने एक ऐसे का टॉपिक दिया. UPSC once gave this topic. Westernization and modernization are not identical. Yes, Westernization and modernization are not identical. I don't want your answer. But do you think that the idea of Indian mindset needs to be totally decolonized? Is this a good idea or not? Use हो जाएगा इसमें. And the phrase not only gives you the language, does it give you a good idea also? Westernization means you blindly find Western culture superior than yours. That's westernization. So should India go for westernization? Westernization is a sign of inferiority. Modernization is not that. So India should go for modernization. If modernization says to drop certain practices of the past, it is worth it. It is really worth it. Modern values are worth it. But westernization, because you are ashamed of your culture, you feel your culture is inferior and Western culture is superior. That is why I should stop drinking fruit juice and switch over to Coca-Cola. That's bad. Do we get that? Is everyone okay with this? अब बताइए मुझे, does the phrase give you an advantage of language plus idea? दोनों काम करेगा या नहीं करेगा? But as I told you, how many people are going to make this language development book? How many people? 0.1%. I'm telling you about my experience of 17 years. सुनते सब है, करते इतने. ये लोग क्या करते हैं? Reproduce करते. They crib and complain. Sir, my answers are like this, my answers are like that. And these people are like, wow, I really like my answer. I never thought I will be able to do this. Do you get that? Very important lesson on answer writing. Why did I share this? Many students, when I check your answers, I tell you about your language is weak. So many students keep writing to me. Sir, language कैसे improve करूँ? कैसे improve करूँ? Once and for all. बता दिया ऐसे हो जाएगी. आपके पास तरीका है, ये वाला भी कर सकते हो, 80% वाला. Attend a grammar course, join a grammar course, join a vocabulary course, Rapidex English speaking course in Jaipur, in Allahabad, yes, in Jharkhand, कहीं पर रांची में कोर्स चल रहा है, अंग्रेजी नहीं आती है. True or not? I am saying learn by observation. You know English, be confident of that, start using it. Things will happen. So phrases and sentences have what advantage? First of all, their grammar is correct. Second, their language has the jargon also. And third, they carry idea. So I've been doing phrases, sir, but did not learn. What will do it onwards? Yes, Tanvi, the biggest problem that we have in this approach is that this approach was given to us even by our parents or elders in the school also. Remember that? अच्छी चीजें लिख लिया करो. So I'm saying this is a part of India's traditional wisdom. The good thing should be written somewhere. But why does it not show up? Why does it not show up? Because ये नहीं किया था. क्या नहीं किया था? Memorize before you write. If you don't memorize it, it won't work for you. It seriously won't work for you. Science students sitting over here, you memorized a lot of formulas. Yes or no? You memorized a lot of formulas and derivation. That's why even today they come to your mind when you're looking at it. Because you had memorized it. Otherwise नहीं आएगा बच्चे. Very, very clear. आप बताइए, साइंस स्टूडेंट्स की बात कर रहे हैं. If you're preparing for IIT-G और CBSE PMT, ये दो एग्जाम दे रहे हो तो आप मेडिकल इंजीनियरिंग का. True or not? अब तो नीट हो गया वो. What kind of questions are asked? MCQ, no? First level is always MCQs. Yes, but in school, are we taught derivations also? True or not? Questions will be MCQ, but we are taught all the derivation, all the logic behind that. Why? Because that expands our learning. That expands our learning, and we even memorized it. True or not? So that's what we are saying. If we have done it, then only it will happen. So I believe in simple steps towards changing your language, towards giving power to your answer, towards making your answer non-GS like in geography optional. It takes certain steps, and as I said, if you are trusting me and if you are doing this, magic will happen. That brings me to an important announcement. Tomorrow, I'm taking that special session after the class. 7 to 8:30 p.m. tomorrow. We have a special session. Breakthrough session in Indian geography. I've been talking about this session before also. You will be surprised. You will know everything about India after this session. You will be surprised that you have it in you. We will have a breakthrough session in India. And why is this aimed at? You should be able to write 30 to 40 words about any place in India. So this breakthrough session after the class, 6 o'clock the class ends, or 5:45 the class ends, 6 to 8:30, please reserve this time. कल ये हो जाएगा. Tomorrow I'll be giving you an amazing blueprint whereby you yourself will feel that's there. What is to be brought into the class? Number of blank sheets. It is going to be exercises. This is a special session. I'll just slot it after the class. Breakthrough session tomorrow, 7 to 8:30. Is everyone okay? So that's there. Let's come to the topic. Two things I've done with you. Again, I've spent 1 hour in this. Please do not think कि ये पढ़ा नहीं रहा है. 1 hour of answer writing. You wrote an answer. You saw the structuring of that answer, and a very important thing, how to make your language correct and geographical steps to that. Work on your language. अभी हम क्या करने वाले हैं? Geographical basis of Indian federalism and state reorganization. So I asked you to read something about state reorganization. जल्दी से बताओ. Whatever you read, polity वाले. State reorganization कब हुआ, कैसे हुआ? I don't know anything about it. You tell me. State reorganization. Quickly. Whatever you know. कौन सी committee थी, कब हुआ, किस लिए हुआ? What were the debates? Okay, there were different committees. Different committees were there. सबसे पहले धर कमेटी थी, फिर जेबीपी, फिर फाइनली फजल कमेटी, फजल अली कमेटी, ठीक है, फजल अली 1956 में हो गया. Okay, what else? Everyone, yes. State reorganization. How many states were created? 4 parts. They were merged to 14 states and 16 UTs. ठीक है. 7th Constitutional Amendment Act taken. 14 and 6, sorry, I wrote 16. What else? What else? State reorganization. The basis was a issue. What will be the basis? And then they went for linguistic basis. They saw the areal continuity of that. Okay, so they created what? Linguistic regions. Perfect. Language was the basis. So people who did not do the homework, India became independent, and India had to be divided into states and union territories. We adopted federalism. Before that, there were many committees, the committee, JVP, and Fazal Ali. And finally, we were looking at in 1956 that we must divide India into certain units. Those will become the politico-administrative units. Politico-administrative units. But what should be the basis? The basis was linguistic. One language, one state. The formula was not one language, one state. Yes, one language, one state तो नहीं था, but the idea was that what was the predominant language of that area, उससे हमने boundary निकाली. Is everyone okay? What else? अभी बोल रहा है कि later on ये तो starting था. This was the start of it. Later on, we realized कि ये सब ठीक नहीं. This was not ensuring any development. So later on, developmental basis. Princely states were given choices. Okay, princely states assimilation. Get that? Okay, perfect. So can I say there were 2 phases? First phase was this, second phase is this. And do we have still demands? Pending demands are still there. Perfect. So does geography come anywhere into this? Abhi tak to nahi hai. So I requested all of you to do something about that. So is this common knowledge with everyone? Now imagine, all of you read polity. Wherever, whatever was the source. If you had collected the phrases or sentences, all this information, can it be converted into a powerful paragraph? Yes or no? Irrespective of your level of English or whatever. This is the power of phrases. So first schedule was revised, part A, B, C, D are replaced with states and U. Okay, perfect. I get that. Okay, Anshika and everyone, do we get that? Do we see the role of content and language? Both will be needed. Now tell me, you go to any school, any college, any institute, where is the focus? Content or language? Content or answer writing? Language and answer writing का डर भी नहीं लगता हमें. डर किसका होता है? Content का होता है. So what sells? Fear sells. Do you know maximum number of tuitions in the world are for which subject? Which subject? Mathematics. जिससे डर लगता है उसी को लोग पढ़ते हैं. True or not? So you are afraid of your content. That what will happen? Will we have sufficient content or not? तो वो होने वाला है. So that will continue. Is everyone with me on this? चलिए, ठीक है. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to connect these two. Yes, everyone. Do we see that because of India's geography, it was not easy to see India as a homogeneous unit. True. India had independent heterogeneous units which were clubbed together. They were heterogeneities on grounds of many things. There were many things on their grounds. There were heterogeneities. To accommodate that, India had to go for a federal setup. And not only that, in that federal setup, can I call them as federating units? Can I call those units which came together as federating units? Federating units also needed to be created on some basis. Can I say that one is the set and these two are subset of this? Is everyone okay? First is, there was a clear geographical basis why India should adopt a federal structure. Then federating units, how do we make them? We needed to reorganize our state, and that led to the emergence of new state. We settled for language. Fazal Ali committee says that we are selecting language as the criteria. Why are we selecting language as the criteria? We are selecting language as the criteria because for the want of some other better criteria. क्योंकि और कोई criteria हमारे पास है. Is everyone okay? चलिए. Let me take you through certain things and see what comes out in this. All of you want content? तो content पे चलेंगे. ठीक है? Comment on the basis of creation of new states in 2000. So can I say this is non-linguistic? Can I say this is non-linguistic basis? This was on development when Uttarakhand, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh were created. Yes or no? So they were on the developmental basis. Can I say this was also people's aspiration? Can I say that also? Now your tendency will be to tell me what happened. But the question is asking what? Comment on this. अगर मुझे इसमें jargon डालना है, subject का jargon, तो what will I do? First, I will use the term areal differentiation. Should it be used? Everyone who have done paper 1 with me, areal differentiation. Second thing, that this idea is ideographic. Unique things should be respected. So creation of a new state is an ideographic idea, and the areal differentiation that is achieved out of it, is representative of the cultural, socio-economic mosaic of Indian society. Sir, ये सब क्या लिख दिया? Just playing with those words. Everyone, these words, can they be got from the book with the phrases? Possible or not? Then you will like the body. How do we end it? The idea of balanced regional development, sustained inclusive growth with ecological balance can only be achieved by strengthening the federal system of India. Balanced regional development, sustainable inclusive growth, ecological balance, through sustain. Everyone, did I bring geographical words also towards conclusion? What will help me in this? My content notebook or my language development notebook? So everyone is interested in content development only. I'm saying when I'm looking at this towards the end, my language development book will help me contain that. Okay? Examine the geographical basis of Indian federalism, geographical basis. So this is what I'm going to do. Is everyone okay with that? So what am I going to give you? First, content. Content में interested enough. Political geographical factors have led to the rise or evolution. Okay? To a large extent conditioned by its own geographical circumstances. What is this? Everyone? Is this a complete sentence? No, this is incomplete. Is this a good sample? Yes or no? I'm saying Indian federalism to a large extent is conditioned by its own geographical circumstances. How many of you have this language? If you have this language, okay, otherwise, le lijiye. This time I have not written any sentence for you. Its great size and population. India is geographically intelligible isolate. Geographically intelligible isolate. Is it a good phrase? So what does it mean? Geographically intelligible means something which can be identified as a geographical unit. Geographically intelligible isolate. Do you get a sample of a phrase and a sample of a sentence? Part sentence. Though it lacks internal barriers, India doesn't have internal barriers of impossible magnitude. Do you have these phrases with you? Internal barriers of impossible magnitude. Do you know I'm talking about Aravallis here? I'm talking about Vindhyas here. Because Himalayas are barriers of impossible. They are barrier of possible. Get that? Though it lacks any internal barriers of impossible. So impossible kone Himalaya, but it lacks anything. So what happened? It is parceled by nature into number of somewhat self-contained units. एक बात बताओ everyone. I have 3 things for you. Geographical circumstances, geographically intelligible isolate, self-contained units. Do they all relate to federalism? Yes or no? Geographical circumstances led to creation of geographically intelligible isolate. There was a lack of internal barriers, but what has been created? Self-contained units have been created. These units for centuries developed in isolation. Why did they develop in isolation? Lack of transportation. As a result, they possess their own distinctive culture and linguistic complexes. Can I say this is also because of what? Isolation leads to this. Otherwise, what would happen? Have you heard? आज के हिंदू में आया है एक term acculturation. Just वाले page पर. How many of you read that? How many of you read this? A very important item in today's Hindu. Acculturation. Acculturation is when cultures mix with each other. Can I say, in India, the geographical basis of federalism is lack of this mixing happening. Though this isolation was seldom complete, though this isolation was not completely isolated, but it did carry the seed of diversity, with opportunities of inter-regional intercourse being greatly limited. So, inter-regional intercourse being greatly limited. Everyone, tell me, is this a geographical phrase or not? Inter-regional intercourse being greatly limited despite overall sense of belonging. Despite an overall sense of being Indianness, we had this. Now everyone, if you say, sir, my answers tend to become GS-like, have I given you a good sample of how language can make your answer geography-like? And have I used difficult word? Geographical is not difficult. Circumstance is not difficult. Impossible is not difficult. Self-contained is not difficult. Inter-regional, you used many times. Intercourse, movement, which is greatly limited. Distinctive culture, linguistic complex. ठीक है, geographically intelligible, isolate. ये थोड़ा सा मुझे लगा, but it will make an impact. Everyone, have I given you a recipe of how you can make your GS answer, GS-like answer, look geographical? इसी में content डालना. You will have to put our content. We'll give all the examples. I'll give you examples. When you have this language, add to it map and add to it content. Your answer will get you 60%. ये 60% का स्कोर का रेसिपी. ठीक है, geographical basis करें. Let us start with that. Point number one, north-south cultural divide. Should we include this, everyone? Worth including? Where does it come? Vindhyas. Vindhyas ले लीजिए, Satpura ले लीजिए. Vindhya, Satpura is generally considered the north-south divide of India. Get it? The northern part is generally the Aryan north, the Dravidian south. The north is predominantly Vaishnavite. ठीक है? And south predominantly Shaivite. Hinduism है, but Vaishnavite religion and Shaivite religion. Now today with greater movement, is it possible for movement? Today migration is happening, but over a period of time, the branches of Hinduism that we are also looking at, more Vaishnavites in the north, Shaivites. Can I say on religion basis? Do we get that? Religion has already come as a topic also before, so they are also connect geography with this. How can this thing? Achha, between these two north and south core, do we have a central India? And remember, this belt was the dispossessed tribal group whose culture differs from both of them. बीच में tribal भी आ गया. Everyone, did I make the answer geographical right from the beginning? As I told you, remember there was historical basis of Indian society. This is the same thing. You can use it geographically. I'm just making all my attempts to make my answer to make my understand geography. So if you want to look at religions in India, we are looking at Hinduism, only Hinduism if I'm talking about, because of its development, because of the barriers. We have the Vaishnavite religion and Shaivite religion, that's one form, and beach mein ek tribal culture bhi hai, and we are looking at those who are the dispossessed one, that is there. Add to it, Sikhism has its birth. Yes, Hinduism mein se Jainism, Buddhism comes out mostly from the north, the Vedic region, where we are talking about this, true or not? And then Islam enters from Kashmir. Islam enters from west. Where does Christianity come from? Christianity comes from the coast, oceans, and this thing. Is it all geographical? Religion and geographical, and I've given you a detail about religion also. The north and south are themselves divided into several smaller linguistic cultural subdivisions. Apart from that, what is it? Linguistic divisions, and they are also aligned with topographic lineaments of the landscape. Now, this is technical language. So, linguistic regions are aligned with topographic regions. Is everyone okay? So, but where is federalism in this? Where is federalism? So, everyone, where is federalism in this? Where is federalism in this? I'm saying within the religion, there are three different beliefs. Should it have a centralized administration, or should it be allowed local administration? On religion also. Sirf agar Hindu ki bhi baat kare. That's where the question comes of Hindu Rashtra. When somebody talks about Hindu Rashtra also, do you realize that there is so much diversity within Hinduism? True or not? Ratnam to class mein hai hi nahi. Ratnam centralized ke andar. Federating Unit 1, Federating Unit 2, Federating Unit 3. These differences give a valid reason why India should not be painted in one color. India को सिर्फ एक color में paint करना गलत होगा. Do you understand? Because there are underlying different colors. Is this a geographical basis of India's federalism? Agree or not? Which diversity did I talk about? Religion also. In religion. Get that? And we know predominantly 80% is Hindu religion. So I'm saying even in that Hindu religion fold, I have diversity there. You must respect that. You must respect that. और बनते हैं geography में आगे बढ़े. So everyone, Indus Valley region. Yes, Indus Valley region is separated by Ganga Yamuna plain. So this is Indus Valley, everyone. Indus Valley region. And this is Ganga Yamuna plain. What is coming in between? Rajputana desert. Two different civilizations will be there or not? Two different things will be created or not? Geographical basis for differences. Is everyone okay? Geographical basis for differences. Why west and east will be different? Is everyone with me? Everyone, please pay attention. Now this is the whole of Ganga belt. Can you see the Ganga belt, everyone? Okay, that? Let's look at this. From here, Delhi to east, there is no geographical divide in the plain. It has resulted in homogeneous cultural complex. So is this belt the Hindi belt or not? Yes, sir. यहाँ पे कहाँ पर थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस आता है? Remember छोटा नागपुर प्लेटू. छोटा नागपुर प्लेटू में क्या आ जाएगा? थोड़ी ट्राइबल्स आएंगे. Yes, sir. छोटा नागपुर प्लेटू, will there be some difference or not? Tribal language, something will come. So that is there. After that, what happens is Bengal comes in. Though Bengal is a continuation, but culturally it has been separate from others. So यहाँ पर क्या है? Between the bottleneck between छोटा नागपुर and Himalayas, यहाँ पर बंगाल बनता है. Bengal, a new development happens. इन्हीं की अपनी language भी है and script भी है. इधर क्या है? Hindi. Can I say uniform? Do we see uniformity? Do you also see why Uttar Pradesh, such a big state, is one state only? Linguistically, there was so much of uniformity. Huge population over there. Huge population over there. So Bengal developed its own script. और यहाँ पर क्या आ जाता है? यहाँ पे पंजाबी आ जाता है. So all the students who submitted their language map to me, do you see the reason for that? Why did you write Punjabi over there, Hindi and Bengali over there? ये भी आएगा. और राजपूताना बैरियर है तो एक लैंग्वेज इधर भी आएगी. कौन सी आ गई? गुजराती. Remember, there is a barrier here also. Vindhya and Satpura is a barrier. So which language will come over here? Marathi. Everyone who has made the language map, did you write this or not? Very clearly, अपने आप ही बनेगा. अपने आप बनेगा. Now, there is this Chota Nagpur barrier. There is this Chota Nagpur barrier, and then there are Eastern Ghats also. Will another language be created? Odia. True. नॉर्थ ईस्ट में भी तो एक बैरियर हो गया. छोटा सा गैप इधर है. विल देयर बी अ लैंग्वेज क्रिएटेड? एसएमईज. Do we have a historical basis of what is happening? Our own linguistic cultural complexes are being created, separated from the Bengali speaking area by Shillong Plateau, Brahmaputra Valley of Assam, with its own linguistic cultural complex in Assamese. And everyone, if you've read that big milestone in Indian history which is called the partition of Bengal, उसमें नॉन बंगाली स्पीकिंग को सेपरेट करने की कोशिश की गई थी. Again, can you see, even in the British time, the language was a very, very big decider of the units that India had. So many people try to mug up that map of Indian language. यार यहाँ तक तो यही आ जाता है. उसके बाद नीचे क्या है? नीचे I will use my language family. What is my language family over here? जल्दी से बताओ. द्रविड़न language. नॉर्थ ईस्ट में कौन सी थी? इंडो म्यांमारी या साइनो म्यांमारी? साइनो टिबेटन भी था. That was there. हो जाएगा नहीं हो जाएगा? क्या आएगा? कन्नड़ आ जाएगा. Everyone, look at this. Will we have Kannada over here? Will we have Malayalam over here? Tamil over here? Everyone who's playing a barrier. Western Ghat, Southern Hill Complex, is it playing a barrier or not? Is it playing a barrier or not? और यहाँ पर भी मैं बता दूं आपको, there is a special unit over here. This is the Krishna Godavari Basin. Krishna Godavari Basin. This is your Andhra region. I don't know whether you read languages like this. When Fazal Ali committee was looking at it, do you see? They can see these regions. This is the map of India in 1939. I've taken it from the historical atlas of Indian Peninsula. You go into the history of making of it, things will go like that. South of India, Indus Ganga, there is influence of Hindi from Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, and Odisha. Still, Indo-Aryan language is there, but they developed their own language and script: Gujarati, Marathi, Odia. Do we get that? And definitely in Madhya Pradesh, Hindi comes back. Hindi is here. So Madhya Pradesh में हिंदी चलती. Everyone, did I connect with your chapter on that also, population chapter? Did I connect with the history also? And today I am looking at regions why India should be federal. Why India was automatically, as despite being one big nation, there were reasons for those micro units over there. And are they being even ruled by different rulers? Yes or no? When I say the Marathas, when I'm talking about the Marathas, तो वो भी तो एक linguistic उसको भी represent करते हैं. True or not? That's what we are talking about. And this is everyone. This is the base of Indian pizza. On this, if we are looking at, say, for example, the Mughals and the Sultanate rule, and the Islamic leaders came. On this, the Christian rulers came. All those things, it's a mix of them or not? And when I'm talking about Rajputana, within Rajputana, कितने सारे Rajput rulers हैं? Think about it. Think about so many rulers, sub-rulers. They have been different times. Think about Bihar, Patliputra. That itself was a different Magad की जब हम बात करते हैं, different kingdom going on. So India had all the reasons that it cannot be a simple unitary system or union-based system. India had so much of diversity. Have I established regional religion diversity as well as language diversity in India? Is everyone okay? Can you use this smartly in your population also, as well as this one? And the historical evolution of Indian society. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Within India, historically, there were many nuclear areas. Nuclear areas पहले ही थे. Suppose linguistic, I'm talking about linguistic. This is the Hindi belt. Gujarati, Marathi, Telugu, Kannada, Tamil, Malayalam. We are looking at Bengali, Odia. ऐसा ना? ये कब के मैप है? पुराने मैप है. जब West Pakistan, East Pakistan. This is an old map which again I have borrowed from. So this is at that time. Persistence of nuclear areas. Ashoka to Aurangzeb. I've gone into history also. Ashoka Aurangzeb के time में भी चलता हूँ. We had Magad, we had Kosala, we had Punjab, we had Rajputana, we had Sindh, Malwa, Gujarat, Khandeshi, Gondwana, Odisha or Kalinga, which we call it. They were already there. Vijayanagar was the kingdom that we are talking about here. Do we get that? So Ashoka to Aurangzeb, they were there. Then linguistic things are also there. And when we are looking at area of attraction of nuclear regions, so whatever we are looking at, तो इसमें आपका desert भी हो जाएगा. Let me expand it a bit. Marwar, Mewar, Malwa, Bundelkhand, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Khandesh, Andhra. So these regions were always there. This was the tribal country. Tribal country, then Odisha, then Bengal, Assam. Indo-Ganga divide was also there. Everyone, everything that I could arrange for in terms of geography, which you can use in the previous chapter also, this chapter also at one place. What am I giving you right now? Content. What are these maps? Illustration. Should you draw all these maps? Yeah. I thought you make this map. This is a better map. Throughout history, each of these different geographical and cultural entities maintained some kind of separate historical entity. Though some of them were divided into a number of rival principalities, there is no doubt that there continued to be attempts to weld them together under a single body politic. So we are looking at the Maratha Samrajya, yes, the Mughal Empire. So there were attempts to make them one, but that's what we are talking about. Ideally, they have always maintained their identity. But through the ages, under India's traditional concept of Samrajya, paramountcy, the regional units were recognizing the paramountcy of the central power. And can I say this paramountcy was taken by the Britishers also? Britishers also acquired that paramountcy. So the concept of paramountcy was also there, the concept of union was also there, and the concept of federal was always there. Do we have geographical? Though when I was searching for the material, I had a lot of political reasons to go into, I had a lot of other reasons. I categorically looked for geographical units. Is everyone okay? Are you happy that it is at one place? Abhi NCERT mein nahi milta hai. These are generally not at one place. So there the teacher's role comes, that he compiles things for you. You get the best on that. So that's where you are. But again, please do not be happy with this content and go and vomit this. This content ka kitna jayega answer mein? नीरज इज सेइंग सर खुल्लर में भी नहीं ऐसे खुल्लर में तो कुछ भी लिख दिया वहां पर तो खुल्लर का दैट पार्ट इज वेरी वीक खुल्लर का दैट पार्ट इज वेरी वीक सो आई हैव गॉन इनटू दैट एंड देन देयर आर सर्टेन एरियाज दैट वेयर द टीचर नीड्स टू सेट द थिंग्स फॉर यू अगेन सेइंग इट इज नॉट जस्ट अबाउट फिनिशिंग द सिलेबस व्हेन यू लुक एट दीस यूनिट्स डज दैट प्रीवियस वन विद कल्चर एंड एवरीथिंग कम्स टू द प्लेस और नॉट ये जो गोंडवाना है ये रीजन शुरू से ही आज का यही रीजन तो नक्सल रीजन है नक्सल हिट रीजन टेल मी even historically this has been the tribal belt it was never assimilated properly it was never assimilated properly. So that has been there. So historical reason is also there. Thus a kind of incipient federalism was present at all the times in India's historical past. ये मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा यार, good sentence. Generally, I don't use incipient federalism. Doing that, incipient क्या होता है? Infant, primordial, incipient federalism. Take that. पूरा नहीं लेना, incipient federalism ले लीजिए. Start में, incipient is start of it. Is everyone okay with that? Linguistic region. फिर बाद में कैसे बने linguistic region? Remember I told you that this is also the second part of this second topic. Gujarat, separated from the Indus-Ganga plain by Rajputana desert and the central Vindhya district, and from Maharashtra by the forest Satpura Maikal region, it developed its own identity and literature. वो गुजराती बन गया. ठीक है? Separated by Vindhya and Satpura Maikal zone and occupying Deccan Lava region, ये महाराष्ट्र बन गया. Indomitable identity, and with the Maratha Empire expanding, that's also big. Its language, though from the same root and having the same script, has its own identity in the Indo-Aryan. So mostly we are Indo-Aryan languages. But within that, the division happened. Everyone, can you see both cases? Geography has been the region. Further east, Madhya Pradesh, again Hindi is in close touch with the Ganga plain outside its tribal areas. So the tribal area goes towards Chhattisgarh. Yes, east of it, Odisha is bordering Bay of Bengal, separated from Chota Nagpur Plateau, Bihar and Bengal, and the forest-covered tribal country of Madhya Pradesh, Odisha had developed what? Its own language. South of Deccan Lava, Maharashtra, we have the Kannada-speaking Mysore, the kingdom of Mysore. Now we are talking of Karnataka. Unlike Marathi, they belong to the Dravidian group. Can I say after Maharashtra, Indo-Aryan stops? Indo-Aryan stops, and the next family comes. What is it? Dravidian. So you know the expansion of the family also. Further south, Malayalam-speaking Kerala, Kannada-speaking Mysore, Tamil-speaking Madras, they are separated by the Western Ghats. True or not? And in fact, they are the farthest removed from the zone of tension in north. So north ke tension bhi nahi hai. That is why you will find the Hinduism being practiced in south has less dilutions compared to the Hinduism practiced in north. The kind of value system which is given by the families from South Indian parents to their children and the families in North Indian to the children are two different ones. We find a lot of dilution, a lot of mixture, a lot of acculturation happening in the north, which is not there in the south. Get that? Because of isolation. So geography has a big role to play. North of Tamil Nadu and east of Karnataka, Kannada and Maratha speaking language, Telugu speaking Andhra Pradesh is there, which is Krishna and Godavari. Have I already shown you this in the map? So now this page, how much will you write? 0%. Don't write anything. Why? Because this is actually going to go into map. You simply say as shown because of the geographical barriers. Now tell me, if we have these identities, these are the most visible identities, and Fazal Ali Committee has to identify new regions for India. Will this be a very important basis or not? True. So the reorganization of state, first thing is because of India's diverse spatial geography. Second, because of a long prolonged historical evolution in relative isolation. Get that? And third one is the physical barriers led to the creation of autonomous, semi-autonomous cultural entities, geospatial cultural entities, which were to be respected as federating units. Do we get that? That justifies our state reorganization. But the problem is, Uttar Pradesh is so large. Just because they are Hindi speaking people, that does not mean that everyone in Uttar Pradesh is having the same issues. Yes or no? Every part of Uttar Pradesh, be it the physiography, the topography, and the economy, the human geography is the same? No. So this is the first level of state reorganization. Odisha, considering it all Odia speaking, that's there. Let's talk about even Andhra Pradesh. I want to tell you the coastal Andhra Pradesh is more prosperous. Coastal Andhra Pradesh is more prosperous. Whereas Telangana and Rayalaseema are the rain shadow plateau. True or not? Madhya Pradesh, the Hindi speaking, the plain Madhya Pradesh, that is okay. But the tribal belt of Madhya Pradesh, that was deprived. True or not? Treating all of them as one, was that wrong or not? And Madhya Pradesh, I can understand you considered it on the basis of Hindi. How come you incorporated Chhattisgarh in Madhya Pradesh? Can you clearly see tribals did not have a representation? Tribals did not have a representation. Do we get that? So that's what we are talking about. Achha, let's talk about even Rajasthan. Let's talk about Maharashtra also. When we were talking about the Mumbai state, Maharashtra mein one part is rain shadow, other part is rainy part. True or not? Population distribution is also very different. So linguistic regionalization, can I say, was one of the earliest regionalization approach and was taken for the cause of ease of it. Easy tha isliye humne kar liya. Everyone with me? Achha. This was all geography. Let us look at the political aspect of it. Political aspect. As already noted, British recognized the advantages of decentralized administration in India. So when Britishers came here, they saw ye to pehle hi hai. So this existed before Britishers. Is everyone okay? Before Britishers also it was there. It's necessary to review India's constitutional evolution during British period in order to appreciate fully the rise of republican federalism in India, because that was there. The present federal constitution embodies the changing sense of Indian unity that was brought about a century of evolution under British rule. So can I say the politico-administrative part, that was for 100 years under the British rule, and British themselves had accepted the legacy of the past. So can I say federal system was not given to us by Britishers, rather the Britishers realized it. Charter Act 1833 named the Governor General and Council of Fort William as Governor and in Council of India. The power became concentrated now in this governance. Legislative power enjoyed while provincial councils were withdrawn. So provincial council को छोड़कर 1833 में हो गया. And then what happened? 1857 revolt happened. True or not? So Britishers realized they made mistake. If one word could sum up the post 1858 administration of British, then it was decentralization. Conceding the advantage of legislation being enacted by those who reside in or near the spot, Sir Charles Wood, the Secretary of State of India, proposed to restore the presidencies of Madras and Bombay the power of passing laws and enactment on local subjects. This was achieved by Indian Councils Act. Is everyone okay? So can I say Britishers got it from the past? They tried to change it. They tried to make India centralized. They realized that it is a mistake. Get that? So they said, okay, chalne dete hain. After that, the idea of provincial autonomy was given fuller expression under the Montague Report of 1918, which envisaged future of India as a sisterhood of states. Sisterhood of states. I like this phrase. I can keep this. Self-governing in all matters of purely local and provincial interest. मुझे पूरा sentence अच्छा लगा. So if on this page I have to take something, I will take 2 points from here. Britishers recognized the advantage of decentralized administration in India and accepted the legacy of past. And second is, by the 20th century, they had envisaged India as a sisterhood of states with self-governing in all matters of purely local and provincial interest. Do we get that? Government of India 1919 Act was passed after the Montague-Chelmsford report, and there they described the finger post of federalism, in fact giving rise to something like the beginning of a federal system. कुछ यहाँ पर federal system शुरू होता है. Another factor, another very important factor which we have not taken into account for what was the logic for the Britishers. Number one is Muslims, though an overall minority, were in fact substantial majority in certain geographical areas. So Muslims were majority in certain areas. This created a federal situation in respect to Hindu versus Muslim. True or not? इसी को आप two nation theory. The worst form of this was two nation theory. I am saying it was very clearly for the Britishers also. They could see that there was certain geographically compact area where there was Muslim majority. So there was a demand for political organization on federal lines. That's also there. Secondly, it is denied the justification of the contention that in India, the federation was largely evolved by desire to evade issue of extensive responsible government to the central government of India. They also did not want to take up the responsibility. One is they could see Hindu pockets and the Muslim pockets. They said we can't have them as one. We need to give them separate. And in fact, that is where they were able to succeed in doing their logic of divide and rule. Second thing is they did not want to give us a good governance, because the center would have been responsible for many things. They said it's okay, give provincial autonomy, we should not be blamed. Federalism, with its promise of regional autonomy, seemed to offer the solution for problem of Muslims. And third thing was very, very important. What about the princely states also? So in fact, I should take Muslim geographically compact area, princely states, and we are looking at non-Muslim or Hindu regions also. True or not? So everyone, can I say from a British point of view, from a historical point of view, from a linguistic point of view, from a religious point of view, and from a geographical or geospatial point of view, do we have adequate grounds on coming to this conclusion that there was a geographical basis of Indian federalism? Is everyone okay? Do you have sufficient content for this? Definitely Kuller mein nahi. Kuller is just telling us probably what all happened, state reorganization happened. They are telling us more of polity. I've tried to make it as geographical as possible. I did invite you to submit your understanding on that. From that polity to this, do you get answer to the first 2 points of our syllabus? Is there sufficient content? 1950 में क्या states बने हमारे पास at inauguration of the constitution? What were the states which we had? Jammu Kashmir, Punjab, Pepsu, New Delhi, Himachal, Bihar, Rajasthan, parts of Gujarat. You can see Bombay state. Can you see Hyderabad state, Madras state, Mysore state, Kannada speaking? This is the original one. Yes, yes, I'll give you that. पहले map तो दिखा दूं. After state reorganization, what was created? Here. So this is not given in Kuller. This is not given in Kuller. Is everyone okay? Do we get that? This is also one reason. This is also one reason why things were very different at that point in time. The challenge of Hyderabad. Can you see that? Can you see that? Yes or no? जम्मू कश्मीर, हैदराबाद, इधर हमारे पास जूनागढ़ हुआ करता था. Yes or no? यहाँ कच्छ हो गया, सौराष्ट्र हो गया, that's also there. Rajasthan is there. Hyderabad से निकालना. Bombay state. Imagine Maharashtra is needed. Maharashtra में some part of it, Maharashtra was removed. It was made. Those plains were made Gujarat. So definitely आपको language करना पड़ेगा कि नहीं basis यहाँ पर. So एक linguistic basis करना पड़ेगा. Yes, but there were certain differences. तो वहाँ पर हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा? We had to create some union territories also. In fact, गोवा तो बाद में हुआ. First, it was union territories that we were talking about. True or not? पंजाब, हिमाचल पहले क्या था? हिमाचल प्रदेश देखिए कितना छोटा था. हिमाचल प्रदेश was this one. What is this? पंजाब, पेप्सू. What is पेप्सू? So this was the state of पटियाला. पटियाला जो स्टेट हुआ करती थी उसके लिए कुछ हुआ करता था. अगर आप इसको देखेंगे पटियाला एंड ईस्टर्न पंजाब स्टेट, समथिंग ऑफ दैट सॉर्ट. So this was more to do with Patiala, former Patiala. So at that time, because remember there were issues of princely states also, Patiala and Eastern Punjab. Okay, ठीक. तो वो ये. Everyone, this is what we have done. State reorganization has happened. एक आंसर लिखेंगे ब्रेक के बाद. We'll look at a question, and after the break, we will go for that. Everyone, is everyone comfortable with this? Do we have sufficient content for this emergence of new state? Initial basis, language. Second basis, development. We'll bring that also. Next question मैं वो लेकर आ रहा हूँ. ठीक है? So let's go for a quick break. And today I also want to talk about cross-border terrorism. I'll also talk about cross-border terrorism. 6 minutes break. Quickly a watch minute break. 5 minute का break है और कुछ नहीं करना है. Hey everyone, are we back? Okay. So let us come to cross-border terrorism. If you have no question on this, चलिए आप जल्दी से सोचेंगे. Quickly think about why India is facing cross-border terrorism. Then I'll ask you a question on geographical basis of Indian federalism also. Why is India facing a cross-border terrorism? Quickly, 1 minute, whatever point comes to your mind. Brainstorming. Location, border issues, historical rivalry, historical issues. Everyone wants to become powerful in this multipolar world. कितना अच्छा आंसर है. Bad relations with neighboring countries, expansion mindset, hatred among community, radicalism, unresolved boundaries, dispute with neighboring. Perfect. ठीक है. Aggressive neighbors. एग्रेसिव तो नहीं होता है, बट ठीक है, नेबर नेबर होता है. एग्रेसिव नेबर की जगह कई बार हो जाता है बेलिजरेंट नेबर, इफ यू आर यूजिंग दोस वर्ड्स. Various terrorist group in neighboring nations. Deepak, is it only neighboring nations? Can it be insurgency from our side also? Everyone, cross-border terrorism. Does it have to be only the international terrorists coming in outside from outside India, or insurgents from India also? Say I'm missing demarcation of border, political instability, less, yes, cultural implication, both are there. Unconsolidated boundaries, very good. Perfect. Okay. Can I say this answer is a very dynamic answer? I think cross-border terrorism because of physical geography of India, because of human geography of India. Can I say cross-border terrorism and insurgency because of issues within India and outside India also? A lot of GS overlap is also going to happen. True or not? And then international boundary related issues, that's also there. Is everyone okay with this? True. बहुत सारी चीजें हैं which we have to account for, and the challenge lies in making it geographical. ठीक है? Everyone, are we okay up to the geographical basis of Indian federalism? Is linguistic basis a good basis? Was linguistic basis a good basis? Yes. Please write a question, everyone. The idea of linguistic states. Write a question, everyone. The idea of linguistic states has served the purpose of keeping India united. Keeping India united, but its utility stands challenged. Stands challenged in the wake of developmental aspirations of different regions justify. Can you see, just knowing the subject is one thing. Answer writing will become a big challenge. क्या लिखना पड़ेगा इसमें? Will we have to make a mention of, or the context of this question? Can you say the developmental aspirations versus? I hope you know the context means why of the question. Why this question? Why this question was asked? Is everyone okay? Different areas have developmental aspirations. All of them want to grow, but unfortunately, everywhere the developmental landscape of India. Can I comfortably use this term? Developmental landscape, everyone? Can I say developmental landscape of India is not uniform? As a result, some areas, some people feel left out. Can I say regional imbalances are there? But in the content, should I talk about 1956, the times and challenges, therefore State Reorganization Commission? However, how things have changed, 1, 2, 3, 4. Will a map come here? Will a map come here? True or not? Are you getting how the answer can be structured? I'm telling you answer also. Get it? So इसको geography में कोई perspective लगाना हो. Can we do that also? Then this answer will talk about 1856, the times of that time. State Reorganization Committee was created, not 1856, so in 1956, and Indian states were divided on the linguistic basis. Can you draw the map also now? Map also I've given you. So homework क्या है आज का? Homework, practice map and answer writing. Okay. So things have changed from 1956 to 2022. Therefore, need to relook. What needs to be relooked? The idea of linguistic states. Is everyone with me on this? Do you remember science we used to end the answer on LHS is equal to RHS? Yes. Here what was the question? Justify. Answer for justify should be therefore. Therefore we need to relook. Have I done LHS is equal to RHS? For that I'll have to put the body. The body of the answer will have a lot of things. If this is done, what will it take India into? अगर ये हो जाता है तो इंडिया के लिए क्या अच्छी बात होगी? A sustainable, equitable, inclusive, welfare state बनेगा इंडिया नहीं, in true sense. If this is done, this will help in transforming into a sustainable, equitable, inclusive welfare state where regional aspirations of people and the ecosystems will be better addressed. Sounding conclusion? I'm also giving you examples of conclusion also, so that through observation you can start seeing, अच्छा हाँ कहीं पे end भी तो करना है. What did I create in front of you? A skeleton of this answer. करिएगा practice. True or not? Will language come handy? So my slides have language today for you. I've given you language sample through my slides, and I'm always saying that the books also help. So books से भी देखेंगे. You want to see a sample answer, everyone? Sample answer भी देखें. Everything that I am, see, as we reach the higher classes, every student should have the ability to write. State reorganization has been happening in every decade in India. Originally, the idea of linguistic state was taken forward in 1956, which kept India united. In subsequent decades, various other developmental aspirations have rendered the utility of linguistic idea weak. The changes in population resource equation, yes, they have changed. Can you see this is geographical language? I think this is Saurabh ka answer, Saurabh Pandey. Rank 66. Led to the formation of Delhi and Goa. Delhi state one of this thing. Regional disparities in present various intra-state aspirations are also there. So two levels are there. First level is what? Linguistic basis. Second level is development basis. Which states, should we mention which states also, because the geography answers are special? Which states are looking forward to it? Marathwada and Vidarbha. Rain shadow, drought prone region in Maharashtra, highly backward. Bundelkhand region of MP, UP, drought, gully erosion, low socio-economic development. Rayalaseema, Telangana, Rayalaseema. So rain shadow, drought prone, ravaged during mining. Ladakh and Darjeeling. Ladakh to abhi hum UP dekh rahe, but we are looking at low tribal representation and low development, and ethnicities like Bodoland, Greater Nagalim demands. Everyone, can you create a map out of this? You can see topper जो भी आंसर लिखेगा उसमें मैप का स्कोप भी डालेगा. He himself will create. Tell me if these ideas are written in the books. We have discussed it. ये हमें चाहिए. We have discussed the answer also, but to write it, I will show this way. Did I show you all the states how language developed over there? You don't have to write that much, but इतने में काम हो जाएगा. We will just elaborate this part on the first page, elaborate this part on the second page. Job is done. 10 marks. Conclusion, Anachi, conclusion. I've already told you that if regional aspirations and ecological needs of that area are addressed this way, this will lead us into a sustained equity and inclusion-based future. Everyone makes sense? Again saying there will be people, sir, मेरे answer yes जैसे होते हैं. मैंने आपको answer दिखा दिया. Is this the complete answer? No, I've taken a cutting from this answer. Answer to full answer. I'm not sharing it here. ठीक है? Everyone? Cross-border terrorism पे चले. Let me upload that slide also. So there will be a lot of content. Now these are areas on which the books don't have good content. That is why I've kept these lectures specially in this course, so that whenever good content is missing, we can have that also. It has been sourced from various books, and several answers have been attached, so that you can also see किस तरह से questions किए जाएंगे. Cross-border terrorism. Everyone with me on this? So whatever you said, they will all come here. Can I say India is strategically located? One part is continent, other part is ocean. Does it pose a unique challenge? You have land also, you have water also. Is this a spatial idea? Yes, no, cross-border terrorism is also taught in internal security. But if I am to look at it geography, so can I say India's geographical and topographical diversity, especially its borders, land as well as ocean, create a unique challenge? True or not? It has land borders with what? Pakistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka. Yes or no? Then apart from that, can I say that these borders are porous borders? These borders are porous. Can I say that? Can I say these borders are ill-defined in certain cases? There are claims and counterclaims. Yes or no? The states are still in the stage of infancy. Infancy means new states. Bangladesh सबसे आखिर में बना यार. So Bangladesh से border dispute होना लाजमी सी बात है, and then we have worked on that. So what we are looking at is that there are challenges in the border itself. So can I say point number one, land and water frontier. Second is the nature of borders and frontiers. Everyone with me? Now even that can be managed. Even that can be managed. There is a history to it. Yes, sir? There is a history to it. History क्या है? We share the same ethnic, religious, and cultural affinities. At times, there were conflicts on this. This spills over into crisis. Yes, sir? So that's also there. If something happens to Hindus in Pakistan, we are unhappy. ये क्या बात है यार? Pakistan is not a secular country, but how can you do that? Yes, sir? And if something happens to Muslims in India, then like the Muslim nations, Pakistan and Bangladesh will have something to say. Yes, sir? They will have sympathizers for that, and sympathizers might have some radical groups also. Get that? And in case of Pakistan, even the state has unleashed terror activity, state-sponsored terrorism. Do we agree or not with the idea of destabilizing the country? Have we seen that also? Now we are looking at, so there are so many grounds for cross-border terrorism. By history, we share common cultural ties. So what will happen? People from Pakistan do come to India to visit certain cultural sites. India say to Pakistan for that cultural site. Say, for example, when we are talking about the Kartarpur Sahib Gurdwara for the Sikh community, that's a very, very sacred one. True or not? Such movements are there, cultural exchanges are there. When we are talking about Kashmir, Kashmir was unfortunately divided into POK because Pakistan occupied that area, so that was divided. But do they share those relations or not? They are sharing relations. That's also there. True. So अब उनको separate करना is a big challenge. फिर उसके बाद we will try to connect them. Some sadbhavna sadak will be created. Some sadbhavna bus will be started. All those things are there. India, Nepal, two Hindu nations. Arif is saying not allowed these days. Arif, am I talking about today? I'm talking about in general. In general, we had started, during former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's time, we had those bus connectivity that was happening. All those things were there or not? I'm saying they have been tried, they have been tested, and at times they have been able to, diffuse tensions. At times there have been tensions, and at times it is the first thing that will be stopped when some tension happens. Yes, sir? If this was not enough, we have outsiders coming and playing. Say, for example, Indo-Nepal relations. Do you think with the China's influence in Nepal, Indo-Nepal relations are not the same as they used to be in past? Yes, no? With China meddling into the affairs of Nepal and again, sponsoring them. Because of China, India-Sri Lanka affairs, are they challenged or not? Are they challenged? So when they become challenged, then that's also an issue. Sri Lanka mein itna nahi hua, but we have seen, like neighboring states, especially Pakistan, Bangladesh, and even Myanmar, for many, many times we have seen they were harboring either terrorists or insurgents who were working against India. In Pakistan, though, India has been asserting that it is almost a state-sponsored terrorism which is there. True or not? We have looked at, we have given them ample evidence, be it the Mumbai attacks, the Pulwama attacks, whatever we are talking about, but those things are happening or not. So can I say porous borders, geographical, both land and sea frontier. Sea oceans are very, very big to guard, not easy. As I said, we will need multilateral cooperation in that, use of technology in that. Many, many challenges are there. So India has all the grounds making of cross-border terrorism. Get it? कुछ example मैं देना चाहता हूँ. How would you draw some map? Some people have done this. Geopolitics of cross-border terrorism. There is a geopolitics also. SAARC free trade area has not been finalized. So this could have been there. Can I say this was SAARC? If SAARC free trade area was there, better economic integration with its neighbor, is it in favor of India or not? Yes or no? So when India looks at a successful SAARC, Pakistan is not interested in that. True or not? Yes or no? Development of Kaladan, Chahabahar, we have developed that Kaladan project with Myanmar and Chahabahar with Iran. Why? Because we were looking at China's string of pearl. That is also there. And when we get into this, now tell me everyone, we have the Chahabahar port. India is developing that. Yes. Can Indian nationals be subject to terror act there also? Have you heard of kidnapping happening? Indian nationals ko utha ke le gaya. Afghanistan, the way they were killed, many of those things, developmental projects. These are big issues. Investment, China makes investment in Sri Lanka. Yes, CPEC in Gwadar Port, Nepal, Bangladesh, they are all reducing India's role in neighbors. So what we are looking at is China coming and meddling in that. Does it make problems for us? So India फिर क्या करेगा? India भी invest करेगा. So what we have done, investing in waterways, rail line in Bangladesh. Yes, we are having Indo-Myanmar trilateral ideas. We are improving BIMSTEC, Act East. कर रहे कि नहीं कर रहे? So what we are talking about is we live in an integrated world, and with the neighbors, with the kind of border that we have, there are many, many grounds in which insurgents and terrorism can be there. So India's geography makes it prone to all this. Can I say India's geography makes it prone to all this? True. Apart from that, what you can write in your answers, a lot of this thing is that this insurgency and militancy does not emerge in vacuum. ये तो हमने सब कुछ outsiders पे blame कर दिया. True or not? Can I say there are political reasons for it, socio-economic reasons for it, geographical domains? अब अगर country में religious intolerance is there, if we give this thing, if we promote religious intolerance, will it create more tensions on insurgency or not? Yes or no? So government jobs to bring in harmony or intolerance? More harmony. But will there be fringe elements? Yes. One fellow in Hyderabad, आज वो जो MLA साहब है, उनका भी जो मन में आया वो बोलेंगे. True or not? और वो पहली बार नहीं बोल रहे हैं, आप जितनी बार सुनेंगे. True. So you are hearing so many viral videos of men abusing women, women abusing men. These politicians are also doing the same thing. True or not? And in the process, they don't understand that there are fringe elements which will take benefit of these things. They will take benefit of these things, and then insurgency and militancy will happen. They do not emerge in vacuum. There are grievances. Tribals ke grievances hai nahi? Yes or no? There have been many cases where tribals have been killed. They have been killed, and even in the courts it has been agreed that they have been killed, and it was human rights violation. But doesn't happen. When we had this problem of Armed Forces Special Power Act in Nagaland, big problem, people had grievances or not. If the government does not address them, will these things come up or not? Motivations and demands of the people need to be addressed, otherwise issues happen. When a minister talks about people like some car ke piche barking dogs around my car, who are you talking about? Who are you talking about when you say such statements that they are like barking dogs running after a car? And when I ask you questions on should we ban mining in the tribal areas, you are not in for that. When we consider geography of insurgency, everyone, again, you will find that whatever I've done, it's all geography. Geography of insurgency, we assume that the actual areas where it occurs is only accidental or contingent upon the presence of some specific groups with certain ideology, but there is other picture where we find that it is a true correlation between them and the land itself. We understand that these fanatic groups live within control or seek control of set regions, and that they are terrorist methods to pursue political agendas for purely political, social, and religious reasons. So these are instruments with political agendas. Social and religious. Don't just think that they are, they were angry and they fired on something. They have bigger agendas. And they will create many more things. So India's northeast for so many years has been the hottest trouble spot. Yes or no? So many insurgent organizations, almost 30 insurgent organizations were there. Aligning them, talking to them, and there we have to, if we were dealing with them, they are armed, we had to give that Armed Forces Special Power Act. But in that process, are mistakes happening there also? So they would want our side to make a mistake. They would want our security forces to make a mistake, and then they will say, see what is happening, and they are talking about secession, ranging from secession to autonomy. So that's what we are talking about. This is not a small issue when we are talking about Northeast, when we are talking about regions bordering Pakistan, regions with China insinuating so many things. True or not? So that's where we are talking about a lot of autonomy, a lot of federalism has to be given to them also, but there has to be a very clear vigil on what is happening. True or not? So apart from giving them protection to their distinct regional and territorial identity, if we want to, on one hand, give them their distinct regional and territorial identity, should not be at the cost of national security. Do we get that? So cross-border terrorism is a manifestation of something, which is deep inside the country, and that needs to be looked into. Get that? So Northeast, which we are talking about, physical geography of India has a major impact on internal and external conflicts also. Yes or no? To insurgents and terrorists to provide defensive sites. Remember, we used to have what? Badlands of Chambal. Had you heard the dacoits were using it? The dacoits, the ravines of that. True. And even in the hilly terrains, easily defended. Topography has played an important role in the creation of the Red Corridor area. Can you see the geography which we are talking about? That Naxal belt, Red Corridor belt, the forested region, the up and down unevenness, the Chhattisgarh and the Chota Nagpur plateau region. Have they used that or not? So think about the geographical part also. These are geographically give them that advantage of hiding also and being on defensive sites. Internal security teaches a lot or not? What am I supposed to look at? I'm supposed to look at the geographical part of it. Say, for example, I'm looking at the strategic location is underlined by the 4 South Asian neighbors. We have 4,500 kilometer long international boundary. True or not? That chicken's neck, which we call it, 22-kilometer corridor between Siliguri, that's also there. So all those geographical regions that I was talking about, this much, Chumbi Valley, Bhutan, Sikkim, and the Chumbi Valley, and this is where we have the Siliguri corridor. So definitely cross-border terrorism will have many aspects when you are doing the answer writing. We are sticking only to the geographical one. Can you see that ones which I have selected are mostly geographical? And you can add to it what? Geopolitics also, that we are engaging with our neighbors, engaging politically, engaging economically, engaging strategically. That also at times gives opportunity for that. Yes, definitely. जब हम ईस्ट की बात कर रहे हैं तो ट्रांस बॉर्डर जितनी भी चीजें हो रही हैं, so we have the drug trade, we have the trade of endangered species, we have human trafficking. Yes, and all these ramifications on international boundary are there. Golden Triangle and Golden Crescent, yes, these are the drug areas. So when we are talking of Afghanistan, one is centered around Afghanistan, opium, and other is this Laos, Thailand region. Get that? So Golden Triangle and Golden Crescent, they are also there. That's what we are talking about. Get that? International boundary I'm not doing today. International boundary answer. Okay. Everyone, please pay attention. Another question, please write down, or you can see that issue of illegal migrants in Assam is not just a national security issue. It also comes with numerous demographic, socio-cultural ramifications. So this was, we had created this question in light of the CAA that we were talking about. So Assam में जितना भी बात होती है illegal migrant, it is not just national security, there is demographic and socio-cultural aspect also. This is not particularly internal security or cross-border terrorism, but I have tried to bring this question that was there. Another question is, bring about the changing geopolitics of South Asia in context of cross-border terrorism, trade and investment. Is everyone okay? So we are bringing the geopolitics in the context of cross-border terrorism. So I don't see cross-border terrorism as an independent question, but that can be there. So geopolitics and cross-border terrorism, due to rising terrorist activity, the region is most talked about in global world. We are talking about that on UN platforms. We talk a lot about that. Pakistan and are termed as terror havens. Pakistan and Afghanistan. Islamic orthodoxy from Bangladesh and Maldives is also a threat to the region. So we are talking about, like apart from geopolitics, what is coming from Afghanistan, Pakistan, that needs to be kept into mind. Okay, so these are some of the ideas which I wanted to share on cross-border terrorism. Tomorrow maybe we'll write an answer on this. So can I expect you to read on cross-border terrorism? Geographical perspective and geographical basis of federalism. This is the homework. What you have to do: innovate maps and case studies. Can we do that? Be geographical. I don't want data heavy case studies. Okay. Plus, what else do we have? If you plan to work on that. Answer writing, well, I have already discussed. If you feel like I've already asked you people to write something in the morning, I don't know how many of you are doing that, but let's see, if you can take on these two things. So this is the official homework for today. If you have time after all this discussion, you feel like writing answer also, that's there. So tomorrow's class, what do we have? Tomorrow we have 3 to 5:30. That class is on political geography. And 7 o'clock we're starting. We have the breakthrough session. Is everyone okay? Breakthrough session on Indian geography. I want you to carry your atlas with your atlas lekar aana and blank sheets. We will know all about India through this breakthrough session. So tomorrow I'm keeping a special session, so that will be there. Is everyone okay? So ending today's class. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.